Hello, fellow Flosstubers. Excuse me. This is Lynn Wiltzius, also known as Love to Cross Stitch. It's been probably a month since the last time I did a Flosstube video, so I'm going to try and start getting back on track. I do have some good news. My husband's second surgery for his kidney will be on the 6th of May. So I'm going to try and post something around about that time while he's gone. Like today, he's golfing. So I tend to do it while he's out of the house. So anyway, the good news is I started a few new projects, and so I wanted to show you a few things. I know there was a couple of things that I finished that I didn't show you. So, and yes, cross stitch is in here, but I'll show you a couple of things before I get to the cross stitch. So, I do Brazilian embroidery, and I was showing you, I think, a while back of the different things that I've been working on. So here's a finish. So, my Brazilian embroidery. And I finished that one, and it's ready to be framed. And offhand, I can't remember the name of it. It's from a gal in Australia with Brazilian embroidery. And so then I started another project, and this one's called Wild Orchids. Wild Orchids. And so this is what I've been doing. I've got quite a bit done on it, actually. And I love the way that the leaf turned out. So now I'm working on the different things, and then I'll go back into finishing the orchids, because you know, embroidery is one of those things that you start from the bottom. Like a flower, you start at the bottom and you work your way up. So the flower should be the last thing to do. But because I was learning the technique, and unfortunately the pattern shows where you do that first, I went according to the pattern, but I found the pattern's not really that easy to read and figure out. So you have to kind of look at the picture and go from there. So that's what I've been doing on that. And I want to show you something that my mother found. And this is very old. She told me it was her great-grandmother's, not her grandmother's, but her great-grandmother's, and the pattern date is let me see. So this is the pattern over here, and the date on it is 1936, and it looks like you're going to get it the other way around. So anyway, in 1936, this was the pattern. So, and her great-grandmother died in the early 1940s or 1938. So somewhere around in there. So this hadn't been worked on very long, actually. So this is what she did. And so it's a big, you know, tabletop. So this is where she's at. And I gotta show you this though. Look at the back. Look at the back. You can't even tell the difference except for where that is. So anyway, my mother knows that I do embroidery, that I like to do embroidery. So she asked me if I wanted to finish it. So I am actually contemplating finishing it. They're real tiny stitches, so I'm going to have to work on that. But the thread's here, and the pattern's here. So it is a cut work, but to be totally honest with you, I am not going to cut it. I am not going to cut it, because I don't want to make a mistake, and then, you know, to have my second great-grandmother do this work, and then to let me finish it is awesome. Beyond words. So anyhow, and then okay, so that's my embroidery, and now I'll show you my beading, because you've been kind of watching it as I go. So I am at row 370, and there's 580 rows, so I have 210 rows to go. and I'm hoping to get down to get past the 200 and work my way to 100. Once you get to the last 100 rows, amazingly enough, it goes pretty quick. But this is the Snowman and Friends. See, there you go. And it goes, you know, it's big. And there's where the deer is starting to show. So that's my beadwork so far, and that's how far I've gotten. And if you see me on Instagram, then you'll know, you know, you've seen it and you get an idea, because I keep posting it every time I get at least 10 rows, because I was looking at it and 6 rows is only like a quarter. It's not a lot. So, okay, now the fun part. I know I said that I was not going to start anything new. I know I said that. But then I ended up starting this, and I started this. And I love it. I'm having so much fun. Hold on, I think I'm going to have to, maybe not. Yeah, I guess I am. Okay. So, there you go. Oops. Falling apart here. Needs a piece of paper behind it. So there you go. That is Santa Claus in the woods or in the forest or something like that. It's Mirabilia pattern. No, lavender and lace pattern. It's a lavender and lace pattern. It's a pretty big size, you know. And I have been kicking butt on it. I've been getting a lot done. I've been posting when I do it. I thought that I would, here, I'll have to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm trying more to square this off. So I want to square this off, and then I want to be able to do 10 by 10 squares and work them that way. Kind of like the stair step that I did before. So, but I had to figure out where the center is on that fabric. And I know I'm going to be really close to the edge, even though according to the pattern and the size I have, I was supposed to have like 2 inches on the sides, but I think I'm only going to be about 1 inch. So I don't know. I didn't measure the fabric to make sure that it was exactly what they said it was, and I have a feeling it wasn't. So, but I'm not too worried about it. Hopefully when it gets framed, I won't need to worry about it. The only difference is that material is so thin, you can see through it. So when I was trying to work on it outside on the deck, it was very hard to be able to see where my fabric lines were. So when you're working with linen, and depending upon how tight or how loose they are, depends upon how, you know, and I believe this is more loose than it is tight. So it kind of shifts too. So it makes it a little bit harder at times, but it is fun to work with. And I do like the color that I used, so I'm not having too much trouble with that. Other than that, I really have been kicking butt. I've been working on my different projects. I have some quilting projects going, but this isn't for quilting, so I won't show you those. And I haven't really touched quilting in quite a while. It's been at least 2 months, and I do have stuff downstairs that I can do. I did buy, actually I got it back here. Hopefully it's not gonna, yeah, it's gonna tilt it. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna hold this and I'll show you. I bought a jelly roll, and it's patriotic, so it'll go from my Quilts of Valor, since I'm part of Quilts of Valor. So other than that, and I found a pattern for that I like, and I saw this, and so I was figuring out the math as to how long the strips need to be. I don't need to buy a pattern, because when I learned how to do quilting, I learned how to figure out a pattern. So I can tell you how the pattern is put together, and I can also redo the pattern just by looking at it. So I don't have to buy a pattern for it. But if it's a complicated pattern that I know that somebody worked really hard for, I will buy the pattern. But when they're everyday normal patterns that have been around for generations, then I don't buy the pattern. I have books downstairs that I can go and figure out which block it is and go from there. And it's a lot of fun. So I did find a drawing that my mother did of roses, and so I had it shrunk down to size because she did a big pattern, and I think she was doing it for applique work. And I've decided that I'm going to do that with embroidery because it's a really pretty rose pattern, and I should have brought it up, but I didn't. So as far as tidbits, I don't know, ideas. I can show you that my husband had these bottles, and I've been putting my bead needles in it, and it comes in really handy. So I keep that over there because these bead needles tend to bend or break after so much use. I think I'm on my third set of needles for the beading. And other than that, I just thought I would fill you in on what's going on. And believe it or not, I'm under 15 minutes. And normally I go at least 15 minutes, but I don't have too much to say. We have surgery on the 6th. The good news is that he should only be in for about 4 days. And so we're happy about that. And it's a wait and see thing. So I can't say too much about what's going on with that because he asked that privacy be kept on this particular surgery. He doesn't want to jinx it. And I have to respect him for that. So I won't say what's going on. I will tell you after the surgery how it went. But I still till this day say that if you have a spouse that's between the age of 50 and 65, that they get a physical and that they have all the tests they need to find out how their kidney is. My husband had no symptoms, and we were shocked when we found out he had kidney cancer. So he's already lost his right, they did surgery for the right, so that the right side is gone. The thrombosis didn't reach the heart, and when we went in to see her, it doesn't look like there's any cancer in that vein. So the good news is that I will tell you that part, but I can't go into too much detail after that. So next surgery is on the 6th, and so it's a wait and see game. But please, if you know anybody, have them tested for kidney disease. It's really important. It's life or death. So anyway, okay, let's get off the bad news and let's get to the good news. Things are going good. I'm kicking butt. I'm working on my different crafts as far as embroidery, cross stitch, quilting, beading. So I'm keeping busy to keep my mind busy because we tend to get ourselves into trouble if our mind goes off too much. So life is good. Patrick's golfing twice a week. That's even a better thing too. And he's healthy as a horse right now, except for, but he's cleaned up the yard. And so we're looking forward to getting this over with and moving on. And we hope that that's what's going to happen after May 6th, that he'll be on the recovery, and then we can start traveling and doing some other stuff. And in the meantime, I'm still going to be busy working on my crafts. So you have a good day. God bless, and best wishes to all of you. I hope you're working on something to keep you busy, especially during COVID. I had my first shot. We're getting our second shot next week. So if you haven't had your shot, please get your shot. I grew up in the military and we had vaccines all the time. So it's, it's rare if it kills you. So I think that getting a vaccine is very important. And being from a military background, I believe that it's necessary. It's something that will keep you away from danger. COVID is dangerous. So please get your vaccine shot and take care. God bless.